Welcome back, guys. Today's video, we're going to be talking about female expectations and how the majority of females are completely delusional about their expectations from men in 2025. But this can also be true for 2026, 2024. And I think really to level set here, social media, dating apps, and just the general trend of what the expectations are based on these apps has completely ruined the reality of what women are living in. Every woman wants a guy, I shouldn't say every, but most women want a guy that's making six figures, 6 feet tall, has a home, is emotionally stable, is fit, yada, yada, yada. When the majority of men in the United States are under 6 feet tall, number one, I think roughly 14% of men in the United States are 6 feet or taller. The median income for men is like $60,000 a year, and only about 15 or 16% of men earn over $100,000 a year, and fewer than 10% of men under 30 make six figures. Right? So the data and the expectations for females is totally opposite. And I think that this is hurting. Number one, this is hurting the amount of men and women in terms of long-term relationships, having kids, and the loneliness epidemic that we're seeing currently in the West. I think the data had said men between the ages of 18 and 29, 60% of them are single. 60 something percent of them are single, and like 34%, 30 something percent of women are single. Okay, so the data is showing that obviously more men are single than women. And I think that that's attributed to men just falling behind in general. The lack of men with higher education, good jobs, a stable income, and even owning a home. Home ownership rates among men under the age of 35, I think the data was saying was roughly around like 37% or 38%. And many young men are renting or living with roommates, and some are even living with, parents, right? Because they can't afford to move out and have their own place because the lack of what I had just said, having a stable job, steady income, lack of education. And really, I think that females' expectations need to come down, right? Especially for women that are just average women, right? Like even average women now are being able to get on these dating apps, get hundreds of swipes, have a lot of options on the dating apps. And that is inflating their ego to think that a woman that's a 6 thinks she's an 8 or a 9 because of all the attention she's getting on the dating apps. Um, so there's a false, uh, I guess, persona here of what they really are and what the dating apps are perceiving them to be, um, based on men that are on these apps and they want to have a relationship with a female, right? And a lot of these guys are unable to get matches or able to go on dates because the top percentage of guys are getting majority of the women on these apps. And even now it's just been gamified, right? Like you're on these apps and they want you to pay for all this stuff. And I would assume within the algorithm, what they have built in, that you are penalized if you're not somebody who's paying for the app, somebody who is not consistently engaging or consistently upgrading. And one thing I have noticed as well on these dating apps, I have been off the dating apps for a little while now, but I had gone back on because I was just curious to get back on and just see if anything had changed. And the thing I had noticed really was a lot of these same females that were on the app when I had left 6, 8, 10 months ago were still floating around on this app. A lot of the same faces I had seen are still on there. And that leads to the next question is why, right? Why are they still on this app? Are their expectations too high? Probably. Is there a lack of men in the area that are on the app? Probably not, as the data had showed, as I had explained at the beginning of the video. 60% roughly, could be higher, of men ages 18 to 29 are single. So you would think, it all depends on the geographic area that you live in, but you would think that there would be more men on this dating app than women. So do these women have a false sense of expectations versus reality? I think so. And I'd be curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below on this. It's funny, there's a website called the Female Delusion Calculator. I'm going to pull it up right now. And what this app allows you to do are put in some data points, and you got to take this with a fine grain of salt, right? You put in some data points. You put in your age, your race, your minimum height, minimum income. So if you're a female, you come on this app or you come on this website and you put in. So let's just run a quick analysis here. So I'm gonna run this. We're gonna go ages 20 to 40, exclude married. We'll put any race. Minimum height, we'll put 6 feet tall, and we're gonna exclude obese. And we're gonna put the minimum income to 100,000. I don't know if you can see that or not. Sorry, I don't have any fancy editing software where I can share my screen and whatnot, but anyways. All right, so we're gonna click find out here. Find out. And this is gonna generate for the females, right? Their ideal man. This is what they put in. This is the criteria they want. Not married, any race, at least 6 feet tall, not obese, earning at least 100,000 a year. So according to statistical data, the probability of a guy in the US, male population ages 20 to 40 that meets those standards is less than 0.5, 0.48%. Okay. And the statistical data here, they have some like, the sources of where they're getting this data from. The female data delusion calculator processes statistical data from two sources: income and marital status information, which is derived from a 2023 annual social and economic supplement of the current population survey, blah, blah, blah. And then the Consumer Consensus Bureau height and body mass index is derived from a 2017-2018 National Health Survey. So they got where they're sourcing this data from. But anyways, I'm not going to harp on this too much, but really just wanted to put into perspective there, right? Like what we're talking about at the beginning of the video, the expectations versus reality. Okay. I really hope we are able to solve for this, but I don't think it's going to get any better for men. And even some women, right? Some women are dealing with some really rough dating times. But I'm speaking for men here. I don't think it's going to get better. I think it's going to get progressively worse, especially with the rise of AI and chatbots. And I think we're going to see a turn where we will have men and possibly women that turn to AI to fill that void, which is a whole nother video in itself we could go into. But I think I've lost hope. Interesting time to be in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you could get some value out of it. If you did, feel free to leave a comment down below. We'd be curious to hear your experience, what your thoughts are around this. Like the video, give it a like, and we'll see you in the next one.